Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Sonic Heroes for the Nintendo GameCube. In the last episode, we did Team Dark's extra missions for Casino Park and Bingo Highway, and it is now time for the big boys! Sort of. The next 4 stages can take quite a while. We've seen there's not really that many enemies in these stages, so they can definitely go on for a while, especially the jungle ones, but just before that, we have some rail grinding levels to do. Which means that we have to spend even longer on these godforsaken rails just because we have to do the stage 1.5 times just to get enough enemies. So when the rails split, you gotta know where to go. You gotta, at the very least, we know that the armoured rhino-shaped trains that we're about to see in a second, it does count when they just explode at the end of the rail. You don't have to do anything, just as long as they're moving. So these two will count towards our total. So if at any point you see one of these guys start moving away, you don't need to worry about them, just ignore them, just keep going. So that you don't have to waste your time trying to shoot them. They count towards your total anyway. I kinda wish all enemies were like that. Like if they run off the edge of a platform or something into the bottomless pit, that doesn't count. But I guess it's because they technically don't explode. And oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Go Rouge! I wasn't near that rail, but okay. I hate it when I have to do stuff like that. Well, we're off to a good start then, aren't we? If I'm already panicking and I'm about to fall off the rails. I didn't even fall off, I fell between them. Yeah, the rails don't. Sadly, this isn't one of those games where the rails do have deceptively large hitboxes. I want to go down there. Which a few Sonic games did. SA2 kind of had it slightly. The Lost World, I'd say, is the one that really had it. Like, you could be a good portion. You could be quite a long way from the rail, and you'd still count as landing on it. With Lost World's cylindrical design, I'm glad it was. In fact, that's probably the reason why it was. Come on, guys. Why don't I do find it weird how their health bars don't appear when everything's frozen. But that was a waste of chaos control. It's alright. Don't worry, Shadow, it's not like they could send us plummeting to our death. It's a very good thing that there are these convenient springs and everything at the end of these rails. But then again, isn't every level in Sonic always very conveniently designed to fit around his speed? I think there was an enemy that did it just down there that I missed. It was either that or some kind of ring box. Okay, there we go. Rouge is leveled up. Very useful in these levels. You do want to try and level up your flight formation. I believe that's there for every team. Switch. No, I want to say it's for... It might just be a life, actually. Okay, yeah, it was a life. I think Team Chaotix is the only team that doesn't have an extra life there. It just leads to that upper platform that Team Dark was just on, only with a lot of rings. But I don't ever bother going to because it just wastes time, right? This is one that you do have to waste our time trying to get. Except that it's not here with Team Dark. I thought it was there with every team. I've played this game before. Shadow, did you not hear what she literally just said? We won't be able to move on. Let's move. That totally makes sense, Shadow. That completely makes sense. I get it. Up. Because we can fly. My jokes are wasted on these people. Actually, one thing I found out quite recently is that the voice actress for Rouge in this game and Sonic Adventure 2, of all the games that she could have possibly also been the voice actress in. Whoa, that was close. Of all the games, Rouge's voice actors in this game previously was the voice of Bubsy in Bubsy 3D. Character who does not shut up, even more so than he did in the earlier games where he actually, I forget the guy's name. Rob something or other. Oh, that was close as well. Too many close calls here. No, I want to destroy him and I want to destroy him. I think I missed the other one. Oh, Springs interrupted it. So yeah, Rouge is Bubsy. Let's let that sink in for a moment. Because that is a very disturbing thought. Thankfully, Rouge is nowhere near as annoying as Bubsy. I've never played Bubsy 3D and I have no intentions of doing so. The only reason I would ever even consider having Bubsy 3D in my collection is because I found it by sheer luck inside some old vintage store, which we do have a number of. I have one up the road. The PS2 collection they have is rather small, the PS1 collection. And I highly doubt it's going to be that easy to find a PAL version of Bubsy 3D. So yeah, we are technically... Well, at the very least it means I'm firing Bubsy down to the ground there, because that looks painful. So at the very least I know I'm doing that. How Bubsy 3D was considered to be fairly good back in the day. Well, at least to critics anyway. Then again, I've never heard of PlayStation Extreme outside of Bubsy. That was probably more of a thing, but I don't know. I don't know how it was considered to be decent when we already had Crash Bandicoot. Which really proved Bubsy 3D was not good. I mean, there was nothing there. Just the most basic of graphics, and that was about it. Some things didn't even have textures at all. I'm gonna go down. Yeah, no, we can actually go down here because there's enemies down here. So at least any time that I can injure Rouge, like when I fire dunking her into some stronger enemy or a spiky shield or anything like that, I can sleep well knowing that it's Bubsy. And it's well deserved because it's Bubsy. After all, what could possibly go wrong? I don't know if Bubsy ever says that in Bubsy 3D. I haven't listened to all the quotes and I don't want to. I want to say his name was Rob Paulson. I can't remember. He was also one of the Warner Brothers in the Animaniacs. He's done a lot of stuff, but most of it I wasn't familiar with. And it's been years since I watched the Animaniacs. Oh, are you still playing this thing? Well, I guess Bubsy doesn't want us to play the game either. Alright, that was a less scary fall this time. This is what I really don't like about these levels. That you have to spend so long just waiting so you can actually encounter an enemy. Like, there's nothing here. I'm not doing anything. This isn't very interesting in general, but when you're also trying to defeat a load of enemies within a time limit, technically. But you're also spending longer than you need to in the level. And that, what the hell was going on with Omega there? That was Sonic 06 gravity right there. Ooh, and that was close. I don't know who was going to talk to that hint ring, but that shuts them up. Whenever you activate Team Blast, it always seems to skip the current line of dialogue. But if there's multiple lines, it will then just go straight to the next line. So like in the final boss, you can have Metal Sonic going, "Sonic, I was created." Just activate Team Blast, and like a few seconds later, he'll just continue on and start going, "But I can never seem to defeat you." kind of funny when that happens. Or it's like the characters will sound like they're talking to somebody, but in actuality they're not. I did miss a robot in there. And it does sound kind of weird when that happens. 8 more. See if I can beat 9 minutes. Actually, I don't think I can. There's not enough enemies. No, I'm not going to. And there's 2 more here. No. Not enough. Because there's only 2 at the bottom of this thing instead of 3. Oh, there was one of those up there. Where was he before? Pay no attention to us at this results screen. It doesn't even activate them. And these are the levels where they give you quite large time. And for the most part, the A rank times for these missions are quite generous. There are a few that are a bit tricky. There's, like I've already mentioned, Ocean Palace. Final Fortress can be a bit of a tight one. But most of them are pretty generous.
Giggity giggity goo!
What was it I put in the description box about no more awkward transitions? This is an awkward transition. You can die in the missions, but I don't want to die too many times, otherwise what's the point? Because then we're just seeing the same thing over and over again. So let us try and start this from the beginning. Which is annoying because this level is not very interesting. And we're still not even at the worst of it yet. Lost Jungle, I would say, is probably the worst. With both jungle levels are pretty bad. If there's one really a big annoyance with this level though is, yeah, and if you ever take that middle spring, you always clip through that thing for some reason. I mean, it's a good thing. It's just a bit weird. But one really annoying thing about this level is that so many enemies have the stone shields. So if you don't have a fully leveled up Shadow, you've got to try and deal with the shields all the time. And you can use the Tornado, but it's still annoying since the enemies have invincibility frames when you attack the shield. Or when you use the Tornado. Don't know why if the Tornado lasts that long, why doesn't it just launch the robot into the air as well? So let's try this again. I'm not going to do what I did last time and accidentally pick up the special stage key. At least I hope I don't. Yeah, the Fire Dunk, or in this case Fire Launcher, does have like a slight homing property. Well, we've seen it plenty of times, but if an enemy is further away from where they would normally launch them, they will slide along the ground a little bit and sort of attack them that way. It looks really weird, but it works. That's the only power core on the left, for some reason. So now that we have a level 3 Shadow, hopefully I can keep it at a level 3 Shadow. See if I can attack all of them up here this time. Right. Oh, yeah, I was wondering why didn't anything happen? There was no boost pad there. At the very least, when I'm fire dunking, I am hurting Bubsy. From now on, Rouge will always be Bubsy. At least until Shadow the Hedgehog, when she's no longer, when it's the change of voice actress. Shadow. It still counted. Sadly, it doesn't add to my score, but yeah. Kind of annoying in the main mission. Here, it doesn't matter. Right, with the train sections, you have got to be careful. It's not possible here, but in some of the other train carriages, it is possible for the robots to just run right off the edge. and then they won't count. Right, avoiding death number 1. And that should be... Oh, hang on, there's 2 more down beneath. There's 2 more down beneath. Yep. Let's go in this thing as fly formation. I went in that thing as shadow, and for the first time ever I managed to make it in speed formation. I don't know if it's just the PS2 version, the camera spins around slower, because it launches you off really far away. You bounce off some springs, and I still got hit by it. You bounce off some springs and it launches you to one of those rectangular platforms. Not one of the ones that spins, thankfully. And there's a booster that's supposed to lead you up there. Most of the time, the characters don't seem to actually make it. It's like the camera doesn't turn around, and as such, the characters are technically not being launched forward in the right direction. It turns the characters with it, and I just don't land on the damn thing. But that was like the first time I had ever been able to successfully make that. So I don't know if it's a PS2 thing. Wouldn't surprise me because it's PS2 version. But it was pretty cool that it was the first time I was ever able to make that. Shadow, don't do that. See, the problem with hitting the balloons, it slows you down. Yeah. See how much faster that is to deal with when they do that? And from there's this part. Right, this is where death number 2 was. So let's try not to fall down this time. This guy didn't shoot me this time. Right after I was making fun of Shadow saying, don't fall. Which, you know, duh. Just don't fall. You're one to talk, Shadow. I know he doesn't remember it yet, but you're one to talk, Shadow. I mean, he somewhat remembers it. We hear him in Egg 3, he's like, space. Did you say space? Still sounds like a better line than the one in Shadow the Hedgehog. This blue sky, staring at it from afar. Have I seen it before? The answer is yes, Shadow. It's called daylight. You're sort of always staring at it from afar when it's daylight, when it's not cloudy. In fact, you were looking at it in the Egg Fleet, and Seaside Hill, and Ocean Palace, and Grand Metropolis, and Power Plant, and Frog Forest, and Lost Jungle. So, and any days that weren't during the games. So, yes, you have indeed seen it before. Right, shooting this guy can be awkward. Okay, we got him. Yeah, sometimes the fire launcher doesn't actually attack both of them. Well, let's take the other path. Let's go the fly formation path. It's not very interesting, but why not? I very rarely take it. And it's a lot slower, for one thing. I mean, if you don't like using the light speed dash, I don't blame you. That is an alternate method you can use. It's just slower. You know, it isn't light speed. The light speed dash is not a light speed. It's a misleading name. In this game, they got rid of the word speed. I don't know why. It's simply called the light dash here. Same with the light speed attack. It's just called light attack. I don't know, Sonic can kill them all in one go when he uses it, so something tells me it's not that light. But this is the part you gotta watch out, because they will run off the edge, and that will not count towards your score. That's why I always use Team Blast there. Thank God that thing in the middle of its turn. How did I do that? Destroy that before time restarts? Yay! Right, this part. Here we go again. We gotta try and destroy enemies whilst avoiding lasers. among other things. Thankfully the first part here is not that bad. It's easier here than Team Sonic. How does that work? Oh no. Oh, this is bad now. Because I got 2 laser barriers. Without my speed, I can't exactly make them that well. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I'm not gonna make this. Well, I can't go on. Oh, my life counter isn't maxed out. Why can't the checkpoint be before it? And I get this after the train sequence, but still. I'm on board of this level now. What was that? The train is trying to obscure my view now. So apparently that rail wasn't a solid object unless you're on the bobsled. That's so stupid. It's like, why should falling off the bobsled be a problem? It should just be an optional thing. Yeah, something that can be used to grab the extra goodies and save you some time. It's like, why does falling off of it instantly means, well, I can't go on, I may as well just take my cyanide and just die. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, those weird little thin coloured platforms are actually just like the coloured rails. Okay. At the very least I can't lose now. Because there's exactly 3 laser barriers here. Right. I still cannot lose. See, it is possible to jump over them. It's just a really tight time. Like, a really tight jump to make. Because you gotta get really close to it, which really puts you at risk of actually hitting it. Thank you, Shadow, for not zooming off the side that time. I suddenly remembered that. You think that from the sides of that would be something only Omega can pull. No. Even any character can pull it. Jarmy can pull them. I still find it odd how Grand Metropolis is the only one where you're actually pushing those things inwards instead of outwards. How that got me stuck on Casino Park with Team Rose for so long is something I will never understand. But by the power of the hint ring. How am I supposed to do this? Use it to push your pull on the hand. Oh my god, it's so obvious. And it was. And it was. Oh, I still got the 1,000. I really don't know how many rings it is that require 1,000. Sadly, this doesn't keep the timer frozen. We know, Shadow. We were just here a moment ago. Well, that was in a past life. Shadow doesn't have any memory of it. Oh, so that's why he doesn't remember Maria. It was in his past life. I thought I had more lives than I actually did. I only have about 60 odd. I'm normally at this point, yeah, 67. Normally I'm maxed out. I guess it's because I didn't do the special stages. It meant that I haven't maxed out my lives like I normally do. Because normally I'll go for the special stages with every single team. I don't normally do it on the extra missions. Ow. That was a... I will congratulate you guys on that. That was some good firing. The rings thankfully don't actually start to disappear until they hit the ground. Come on, wait. So close. Thankfully there are more enemies here than there were in Rail Canyon, so you're not redoing too much. Because this should do it. Destroy him. And there we go. I'm not sure which one got destroyed there, but still. Yeah. Still pretty generous. This is before the timer kept going when you die. I can't remember. I think Secret Rings was the first one to do that. Like, your timer just keeps going no matter how many times you die, and they pretty much just continued that afterwards. I mean, it makes sense. You know, it gives you a reason to go through the level without dying, but really your score should be enough for that. Why don't we keep going to the other teams? But anyway, the two longest ones are up next. Frog Forest and Lost Jungle. And I will see you guys then.